Good afternoon, friends. We are all here to discuss the open access in workshop on open access in Maharashtra. It's all important subject for all of us in the industry who are continuously struggling to survive. Forget about the prosperity, but survive. And from that point of view, Goenkaji is continuously making efforts. And today we all are here to listen to the experts. We have Mr. T.N. Agarwal. He is here. He is BE Mechanical, Chartered Engineer, accredited energy auditor, and he is working as energy auditor, consultant for electrical work, open access, and regulatory issues. And I request Goenkaji to please welcome Mr. T.N. Agarwal. And then we have Mr. Rajesh Medaretta, having 25 years experience in power sector. He was earlier with CEA, Power Grid, and founder employee of IEX. He is MBA and BE. I request Pankaj to welcome Mr. Rajesh. And of course, the third and the most important, our own resource person, Mr. Goenka. And I hand him over the meeting to proceed further.
Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. I welcome you all to this important workshop. VIA is always taking important issues in power sector through Energy Forum, and we are continuously doing the work for betterment of industries, reducing rates in power sector, making the power competitive at competitive rates. Fortunately, recently, Commission has issued open access regulations, and in these regulations, purchase from power exchanges on day-ahead basis has been allowed, which was not allowed in earlier regulations. Only bilateral transactions were allowed. And in bilateral transactions, you know that only consistent power using industries, means the industries who are working in 3 shift and having a continuous load, they can only have power purchased through open access and may have agreements above 1 megawatt only, because there is a bar that below 1 megawatt you cannot purchase power through open access. That time when day-ahead transactions was not allowed, so single shift working industries or 2 shift working industries or some hours of day working industries, they were not able to purchase power, a cheaper power through open access, because whenever this bilateral transaction happens, you have to give, you have to make an agreement that you will purchase this much power continuously. You have to give schedule for whole month, which is not possible in case of industries who are not working 24/7. Now, since this has been allowed, so the industries who are working in single shift or 2 shift, they can also have opportunity to buy power through power exchanges on day-ahead basis. Even you can buy power for even 15 minutes. There is a slots of 15 minutes in which you can buy the power. In these regulations, there are some issues which need some clarification and some interpretation. Some different interpretation is being done by the MSEDCL, but Mr. Rajesh ji will clarify those issues and when these issues will be taken up with MSEDCL, I think these issues will be resolved. And you know that presently cheapest power is available at power exchanges. It's a very important workshop today. If you have got any questions or any doubts, you can ask us anytime. So fortunately, we are fortunate enough to have these dignitaries here. Indian Energy Exchange is the exchange where maximum power trading is done in India there. So he will give the details. So thank you very much. I will invite Mr. Rajesh ji to give the further elaborations. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good afternoon to all of you, and thanks to Mr. Goenka, Mr. Tapadia, for giving this opportunity for being here. This is the third event which I am attending in this hall, and thanks to VIA. But somehow we were not able to achieve what we wanted to do, getting industry access to the cheapest source. Somehow with the efforts from VIA and the other industry forum, and also we have contributed a lot to the efforts which we made. We finally have seen the day that now there is a regulation. It means that law which is now available, which allows you to do what you wanted to do. And thanks to the independence of MERC, which is the current constitution of MERC says that they were able to do against the wishes of distribution company. So this is the right time when we think things should happen, should move. But since the regulations were issued in end March, so far in 1.5 months, we have not seen the progress which we expected to see. Because everything is in favor of industry. They have allowed open access for industry. They can purchase there is no limitation. You can purchase for any time block in the day. Earlier people were also, in some states they have put some limitations in the sense that you can only purchase a fixed quantum throughout the day without asking for any change. There are some states which they have put a limitation that, okay, fixed quantum for some time, but maximum you can go up to 75% of the quantum of what you would ask for maximum. But here there is no limitation. The CERC regulations were also so favorable, and if you read the regulations today, it is very clear that when you want to come to the exchange, you have to only follow the CERC's regulation. They have kept all these things open as far as CERC regulation is concerned. They have not made any changes in the CERC's thing, which other states have done. In case of Rajasthan, they have done a lot of tweaking, which has not been done here. In case of Haryana, a lot of tweaking has been done. In Delhi, which is also against the law, that because when you talk about interstate open access, because when you come to exchange, basically what you are doing is, you are trying to take power from outside the state. So it is as if when you buy something from outside, you apply central regulations. In case of, say, you buy any commodity, you pay central sale tax. So central sale tax will be governed by rules of CERC, central government. It will not be governed by state laws. So same thing here. Actually, if wherever the states have actually done any tweaking in the regulations which have been issued by CERC, actually it is against the law, because it is not within their purview. When you are doing something interstate, there is a separate body, there is a central forum where they are actually decided. So fortunately for us, everything is good in this regulation. Of course, my colleague will take you through the exchange side, how is the exchange operations are there. I understand many of you would have seen those presentations. Have you attended the earlier forum? How many of you have attended the forum earlier, this presentation from exchange side? None of you? Okay. So maybe people have changed, but we have been doing it, I think, 2011 or 10 onwards. So this is the third one. So it will be good that if you go through our presentation, which will detail the working of the exchange, how you can make use of the exchange, and what are the snapshot of the market, how it is being run. But broadly, I will give you the detail that today we have about 3,400 industries who are participating on the exchange. All the states except few eastern state, and in case of northern state, UP is the state where they are not allowed open access. Again, the regulations are very clear, they are very friendly to industry, but somehow the government itself is putting a lot of restriction. And there is again a problem between commission and the distribution company, because of which it's not happening. But otherwise, in most of the states, it is now allowed. And there is a lot of money which is also being paid to the distribution company. It is not that distribution company doesn't get anything. Distribution company, when they allow open access, still they get wheeling charges, what they are required to be receiving it for their transmission network. They are paid for distribution network. They are paid for cross-subsidy surcharge. They are also paid for additional surcharge. Of course, in case of Maharashtra, they are not so far declared. But maybe that also will be coming as soon as they become surplus. Today, they may not claim that they have fully become surplus. Probably at the time when they are able to show that they are surplus in case of power, probably that time they will be able to ask for additional surcharge. So once they are getting compensated for all these charges, it is quite natural that they should not prevent this to happen. Another benefit which we saw when we asked for open access, that there is a competitive pressure created on the distribution companies. So far, distribution companies used to ask for tariff hike, and they will ask for tariff hike only in the industrial segment, because they know if they do anything with the residential, probably there will be a lot of resistance, agriculture also resistance, commercial probably they can take the load. But industry was one of the biggest segment which could have taken the burden of additional hike. Once they know that this hike is, they are not free to do hike, because earlier, commission only was required to do a due diligence whether the hike should be there or not. But suppose you allow open access, there is a competitive pressure, because they know if you don't, if you increase the tariff by a substantial amount, probably that industry will then go for open access, and they may leave their distribution company. So this pressure is creating some kind of pressure on them, that they are not asking the increase otherwise which they would have asked. And that we have seen in many states. In Punjab was the first state where the year when the first open access consumers started taking power from exchange, then next year onwards they are not asking hike in those particular category of consumers who are actually eligible for getting open access. So this is the benefit, and of course this also puts a pressure on them, because when industry can purchase from the exchange saying that it is cheaper power, then why not distribution company make use of it? And today, if that pressure is not there, that they have to reduce their tariff, they have to reduce their cost of purchase, probably they will keep on purchasing costly power, they will not look at the cost, they will not look at the merit order. But if there is a pressure that, okay, when industry can take 2 rupees 50 paise power, why not they can do? Rather, industry has to pay something more, much more, but they don't have to pay any cross-subsidy surcharge, they don't have to pay any other charges. So total cost, if they pay 250 to the exchange, probably their total cost will be only 280. So they will save much more by actually buying from the exchange, and then that will finally decrease the tariff for consumers. So this pressure is also important, and probably rightly the commission, MERC in case of Maharashtra, have actually realized that that will happen. So they said, okay, why not we should allow industry to have open access. So I will stop here. Maybe when questions will be coming, we will be able to answer them. My colleague Amol will take you through the presentation, which will give broadly. We have put this the agenda that we will talk about our portfolio, what products are there on the exchange, what is the trading mechanism, how is the market operating, and if you want to do transaction on the exchange, what you need to do. So Amol, please. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I am Amol Dahat, looking after Western region. So basically, sir just introduced the Indian power market, how it is evolving, and right now what the situation is in Maharashtra regarding the distribution open access. So from the industrial perspectives, how the power can be procured, we will see in this presentation. There are certain options for the procurement, like in the existing is the we can procure from the discoms, that is from the regulated tariff that is approved by the regulatory commission. Discoms purchase on the long-term basis or short-term basis. Basically, they have the long-term agreements, and that is their major source that they buy from the long-term agreements. Next one is the medium-term option, which is as per the new regulation, it is from the 3 months to 3 years, and tariff cover it is fixed cost plus variable cost plus markup, that is less than the long-term what is there. And the next one is the short-term, that is over-the-counter what we call. It is intraday, means for the same day till the next 3 months, that can be procured through the competitive bidding only. And other part is the single tariff, covering the tariff fixed cost plus. What we are more going to discuss, that is about the exchange, and it is the most preferred one. Exchange is the highly liquid and transparent marketplace. We will discuss it in little bit in detail later in later slides. And we have the more accurate load management through the day-ahead market. Day-ahead market is one of our products which is more liquid, and there are five products which are basically on exchange right now, please. Another is the self-generation, that is for the captive or the other generation, cost fuel or less efficient units they can sell and have the much higher cost, they can also get this through. These are the company snapshot. We have basically there are 2 exchanges in India. One is our IEX and another one. So we have around 96% of market share, and average daily traded is around 100 MUs is traded every day in day-ahead market. 3,800, that is plus participants are there, and among them around 3,300 are industries which are trading not they are registered on the exchange. Around 1,200 to 1,500 they are trading daily on the exchange. Our exchange is transparent, competitive and liquid. So we will see how products are there. Most liquid product what today is on the exchange is day-ahead market. That is from since 2008, since what we are operating for, and it is a closed double-side auction. Means the seller, those who are bidding for, and the buyer, those who are bidding for the procurement of power, they are unknown of each other. How it can be done in day-ahead market, I will discuss in the later side. Timings for the day-ahead market, whenever you want to bid for the day-ahead market on exchange, it is the 10 AM to 12 AM. The bidding time is there, and you have to bid today for the next day's power. Like today you have to bid from 10 AM to 12 AM, the 2 hours gap is there. In that time period only you have to bid, and scheduling will be done from the 00 hours. Means the next day will start, whenever it will start 00 hours till the next day. So it will be the 24-hour slot. Each time block will be the 15-minute time block. You can bid in the 15-minute time blocks, and minimum quantum it can be 0.1 megawatt. That is the NOC that is required, that no objection certificate is required, standing clearance from the SLDC for the bidding on exchange. Next, our product is term-ahead market, what we started in September 2009, and there are basically four types of products what we have introduced in the term-ahead market. One is day-ahead contingency. Suppose in day-ahead market, window closes at 12 o'clock, and if you miss the bid somehow, one or the other reason, Then you can have the option of day ahead contingency. This is another window for the day ahead. This is extended market. Trading window opens at 3 p.m. So if you miss at 12 p.m., you can bid at the 3 p.m. And this is from 15 hours to 23 hours. It is till 11 hours, 11 o'clock. So whereas in the day ahead market, the quantum you can bid for the 15 minutes, and in day ahead contingency, the blocks are for the 1 hour. You have to bid for the 1 hour. So there will be the 24 bids, 24 blocks. Sorry. Next one is the intraday. Day ahead market or day ahead contingency for the next day. Intraday is for the same day. You have to bid today from the for the gap of 3 hours. You can bid for today's power. Suppose now it is a 4 o'clock, so you can get power from 7 o'clock. So and on till the next day. This is the extended market. Trading window increases from 3 to 8 hours for the same day delivery, and you can delivery can start from the 4 hours. Other market is the daily one. Daily is for the rolling 7 days. You can bid for the next 7 days, starting from the 4th day. Suppose today is the Saturday, so next it will start from the Wednesday. The 4th day it will start for the next 7 rolling days. Another, we have the weekly market. It is for the 1 week, and from delivery start from the Monday to Saturday. So the option it is the same. It is just like daily only. There is a gap of 4 hours. 4 days. You have to bid on the Wednesday for the next Monday. We have the another product called renewable energy certificate. Most of the guys, those who are buying power in bilateral, they must be aware of REC. These are the green attributes, or we call it as REC certificates. Sellers are the RE generators. Those who are not under the feed-in tariff, means the tariff decided by the regulatory commission. Those who are either by consuming self-consumption is there, or the third party selling for the third party. And the buyers are the obligated entities. Right now, as per the new regulation, if you are if a contract demand is 5 megawatt and above, you are the obligated entity. This is the new development. We will share it. Earlier it was 1 megawatt and above, those who are buying power from or in open access or in captive. They
Interpretation what you are doing, there is some problem in that because above certain percentage, they have issued in the regulation that above 5 megawatt the percentage changes like that. If you read, if you read like that, it is not that below 5 megawatt it is not applicable. So you have to read in detail.
Okay, sir, we will check it.
Actually, that was, we had a wrong probably assumption that below 5 megawatt there is no
It is not like that.
Next will be the energy saving certificates.
That was also our understanding.
Now it has increased to 10%, so it will be 19 paisa. So basically we will see details of day ahead market and what are the features. Sorry. So it is a closed double-sided anonymous auction for each 15-minute time block for the following day, means the next day. Around the pan India, you can see the map of India. It has been divided into 12 parts. So we call it as the 12 regions. For the simplicity, it has been divided. Major are the western region, southern region, eastern region, northeast, and north region. So these are the five regions, and among them there are again segmentations. Total there are 12 regions. So intersection between the aggregate sale and the purchase curve defines the market clearing price. We call it as MCP, that market clearing price. How it comes to, we call it MCP and market clearing price and market clearing volume, that we will see in the next slides, how market clearing price is discovered and the market clearing volume is discovered, depending on the number of sellers and the buyers in the market. 12 bid areas are defined. If there is a congestion in certain lines, suppose from east to west or west, depending on the availability, MCP is further segmented it into area clearing price. Then regional, suppose there is a western region, suppose there is a congestion, or basically in southern region there is more congestion. So there are most of these S1 and S2. There are two regions, so we find area clearing price for the S1 and S2. And more of the times for all other regions except southern region, the price is uniform and same price is discovered for the other regions. Bid types of portfolio orders or the block orders. This bid types we will discuss in later slide. Minimum bid that you can bid, it is for the rupees 0.1 for 0.1 MWH, and minimum price and volume step can be 0.1 that is 0.1 into 0.1 MWH. This is a DAM trading process.
MWH is
1000.
is equal to 1 MWH. And broadly what we are talking about is basically an online platform where you don't need to talk to anyone. You just have to place your bids. You have to give your price. You have to give your quantity. You have to give your time. After that, we clear the market based on whatever we receive, and then so after all the bids are received, we clear the market, and then there is a market clearing price. Normally, if there is no congestion in the system, then there will be one price for all India. But if there is a congestion, then there will be different prices in different areas. So now he will give you the timeline, but what value is achieved out of all this is that you don't have to, one is that you don't have to do talking to someone, negotiating the price, then signing a contract, then asking for scheduling. So all these things are avoided. Everything is taken care by us, and this online system where you only have to place your bids. You don't need to talk to anyone. And the whole timeline is such that in one day we clear everything. We take money. If you are buyer, you have to pay money during that day. We clear the market. By 5 o'clock you will get the results that okay, for tomorrow you have already received the power. If you have not received, then also you are informed that so much of power you are not able to receive because you are not given the price which actually was better than a market clearing price. So basically this is the outline, and more details will come.
I told about how price discovery is all about. This timelines for the day-ahead trading process is first is the bidding process. The timeline is 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. in the morning, in which the buyer or the seller, they have to bid for each 15-minute time block, that bid for which the bids can be placed. And at our side, when you will submit the bid till 12 o'clock, from the 12 to 1, what the matching is done at IX operation level, and we market clearing price and market clearing volume that is calculated till 1 o'clock. And next, what we do, we send it to NLDC for the review of a corridor, that is transmission, whether transmission line is available or not. And